Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys enjoyed the triumvirate last night. We had a good time, didn't we, Tracker?
We did. I really enjoyed it. I liked it was so kind of you guys to let me do my little presentation at the beginning and get it out of the way. And I just kind of sat back and let Kat do some crazy analysis, some crazy good analysis.
Yeah. Cat is amazing. All right. Well, what is not amazing is all this volatility overnight and stocks and craziness and crypto and stuff. Are things going to keep on crashing, supposedly? I don't know. We'll find out. I mean, in my opinion, it's just normal volatility. And actually, when you just look at this SPY right here, we can really see that the trend is still intact, even on the daily chart, right? It's still above the conversion baseline, above everything. So even though there's a lot of fear out there, it still is maintaining its daily trend. And perhaps it's getting closer and closer to that daily support for maybe a bounce could be in order to go to the 648.98. And QQQ is kind of the same thing. It did go back down to the baseline, so it did cut through a little bit of the conversion line, but I think that's because it already got to its 1.272, right? So it kind of front ran the SPY, so it's selling off a little bit more. And we're just going to see if this baseline can hold right there around 567.44, and then we got the 50-day moving average below at 555.37. So that is a possibility as well to go back down to before any kind of chance to break through that 578. So there's really nothing broken on this chart either. It's just going back for a normal back test at the moment. And IWM is still in battle with this 786, the 226.80, but this is nothing to really fear because the conversion line is right down below it as well at 224. And we also have the baseline there around that 221.90. So this is all good developments going in the right direction, and it's probably one of the more healthy looking charts because it actually broke out, right? You can see it's a previous resistance over here. It's a breakout, and it's basically back testing the previous highs back in July, right? So a very, very fantastic development for IWM, and I think it can actually continue to try to stabilize above this 226.80. So that's what I'll be watching for the rest of the week. And we can look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, it is going back below that arc again, but I mentioned that conversion line could be the target, or even the bottom arc could be a target too, around 109, 110. So still range bound, looking for some kind of a direction, still building a base at a higher level. There is nothing bearish about Bitcoin's chart. It is perfectly healthy, perfectly normal. And lastly, we can just take a look at Tesla too, and there's no change, right? No matter what it did overnight, it's still in the high time frame range, 321.32, 347.58. That's the range. Nothing's going to change until either level breaks. So, Tracker, take it away.
Thanks, Matt. I was just reminded that there's this chart that is whispered of in technical analysis circles. And that's the IWM divided by the SPX or the SPY, whichever way you want to do it. And when I first met up with Kat and Matt, I was of the opinion that the IWM is trash. It's just where, stocks graduate and then leave all their, lesser successful stocks behind to fallow. But, as I feel like we are approaching kind of a tipping point for the SPY, SPX, maybe we'll finally see this reversal where the IWM starts to outperform the SPX like it did back here anyway. Is that right? That can't be right. That's not, well, anyway, it's very slight here, 0.03. This is actually, this isn't the chart I want. What is the one where it's like Russell 2000? Anyway, you know what I'm saying. We're looking at for a point where IWM would actually outperform. The small caps would outperform the large caps because large caps are getting so expensive as, what's his face? The Oracle from Omaha was so pointedly saying with like taking his dollars away. Hey, I wanted to show you this chart. You've heard us talk about it, but you can really kind of see it. I used to turn these off because they're kind of distracting, but the little pink bands are the after hours, and then the orange part is the pre-market. And you can see how price really does the biggest, they'll do the biggest moves when we can't trade it. And we're sort of stuck, trading the crumbs during that short period during the day where it's white. And then, so anyway, here's Palantir. And after topping up here at $190, we're back down to 152. I showed this chart to my subscribers yesterday. I'm just going to a weekly, 16-hour chart. I think there's an exciting possibility that Palantir could come right down here to this. Let's see. Well, there's this halfway point, an obvious halfway point between this 105.32 bottom and the 190 top, 140, 146. Maybe it touches that. Maybe it just comes to, this was between, I can't remember exactly how I derived this one, but about $140 here. And then my 764, if it did a 1236, 764, 2236 next, that 764 is about $145.47. So I think I see some confluence where this could be a support test that it's heading for. And if you pull up the, RSI, there's still definitely room for it to go down a little bit farther. And it really kind of looks like the sell-off has only kind of just started here in the last couple sessions in earnest. You definitely had longer periods of sell-off here. So yeah, look for it. I think that's a possibility. Anyway, Matt might tell you something the same or tell you something different. Let's do the requests. I'll do one request. I'm going to throw it right back to Matt. Somebody wanted VVPR from Matt, so I'm going to go to BMNR. Here's Bitminer. I think I've got this bullish outlook for Bitminer, where maybe it needs to just touch 4118. So before it was above this center pivot and then kind of fell below it, halfway between the 0.5 and the 0.375. And that made it to 80% of the way and then hit resistance right here. So maybe it just needs a perfect touch of 4118 before it can go, start swinging back up higher, and then retest the 618, get over it, then get to the 702, and then have to test back to the 618. Sometimes it doesn't actually go back to the 618. It might do something like, I should say, sometimes it'll bypass the 618 and then come back for it later. That's like that last liquidity grab. Just want to point that out. If it doesn't come down to the 618, maybe it's because it wants to do, something like that. Anyway, BMR, I'm bullish on it still. You can see the institutions are still buying it more than retail is selling it, or at least they're trading it more. RSI is underneath the moving average here. I know it's very small on your screen, but no, I think this is the definite possibility. I'm looking for 4118. All right, I'm going to throw it back to Matt now.
Yeah, let's go take a look at Cororeium here. And let me just switch my screen. So here's Cororeium. There's really no change from the last couple of weeks. It broke out of the 382 and it's still above it. So the 0.1619, that's the support zone. Let's see if it can stabilize. There is a little bit more support below. If it did break below that in the 0.14, 0.16 zone, or 0.14, 0.13 zone, I should say, right here. But right now the focus is trying to stabilize above this previous resistance zone, right? It did break below it, so getting back above it is a more bullish design. So stay above that. That's the goal. And we can take a look here at VVPR. And there's really no change either for this one. So I've already had some arrows right there. Let's just take off those labels. But yeah, the 382 and essentially the top of the cloud. Whoops. The top of the cloud is trying to hold out as a support, and the baseline's right there at 475. But you got this downward sloping 200-week moving average at 772, so it's not looking like it wants to break out. It's just in consolidation mode, so perhaps it's going to take a while longer because this could be a big resistance zone before it's ready to break to the 1227. So it's trying, but still a resistance over here in April, still is a resistance now. So there is really no breakout. There is no change, but it is trying to find stability on top of the cloud. But we do see the cloud does dip down here, down in the 360s, so it could just do one more flush down too before trying to go higher. So be a little bit cautious until we can actually flip this whole 606, 772 zone to a support, but we're not there yet. All right, let's take a look here at one more, and I think let's see, Sell H. Yeah, I haven't done that one in a while. Sell H, what do we see? Well, it's right at resistance now. So a lot of people, they saw the recent price action just keep going up and up and up, but it had a destination, and it looks like it hit that destination. So 61.35, and the top of the cloud right here is around 60.26. So this is resistance. Be cautious here because it was a big resistance in the past too, right? So right now it's no different. So until it can break above that 61.35, going to be a little bit cautious there because it could come back down to maybe the 50s again, the low 50s, high 40s for a back test before trying to break out. So we'll just have to see if and when it can flip that to a support. All right, Tracker, back to you. Uh-oh, Tracker, he muted himself.
I'm sorry, I muted myself because I was so phlegmy this morning. Sure, I've got my Coinbase chart here. Showing you how it is turning from a type A. It's working its way to becoming a type S stock. Once it gets over this 100% fib, makes it new all-time high, gets over, tests back to it, does a break back, and continues higher. I was trying to imagine what it would be like, let's say, like this journey from the 50% pivot. Let's just do the 100%. Let's do no. What was I trying to do? I was trying to have it be more reasonable. Yeah, if I went from the halfway point to the 141, let's just rein in our aspirations here. What that could look like. Needs to get over 386 before it can break out. The 886, it looked like we were going to test down to it and hold it, and it broke through right here. This 886, 318, 895 is like the last step. Once price can get back on top of it and do a broke back on it, then it can go on higher and surpass it's the 100%. It already touched it once before, right? Usually once I see price break a trend, like break above the 100% and then go back down, it's just like it's like a placeholder saying, I'll be back. Just hold my beer for a second, and then it runs down and does whatever it has to do back here in this test back to the 886. Yeah. So still quite bullish on coin. Looking for a move. Let's see. Well, for my prices right now, to get back to the 100% is 42% higher. To get to the 1.114 is 91% higher. Yeah, we all three of us agree coin is a good bet here. Excuse me. I know some of you probably are looking for like shorter term price predictions and actions, and all I can say is let's do a quick visible range volume profile just on this little bit right here. And let's see where all the market action's been. Excuse me. Well, you can see that the most of the buying was in this zone here for the longest time, obviously. But I would say it formed sort of a developing point of control. They call this the point of control, this red line. A developing point of control is right up here at 353. So it probably wants to get back up there pretty soon. There was the drop of the volume shelf here. And this is where it's holding. It's holding the bottom of this right here at this 306. If it can get back over 329, it should probably, it'll bump through this shelf really fast to go back to the 353, 357 area. That's pretty much it. I think, that's all I have to say about coin. I'll do CELH real quick. Let's look on the weekly chart. I thought I did draw this one. Turn this off. You can see obviously here that most price action took place right across the center of the band here recently. Turn it off. This is the week. I just want to check and see how I got this drawn. Okay, yeah. From the top to the bottom, and it is a Type S stock now because it is over its 100% fib. And so, yeah, with a nice test back to the 100% fib, I would look for it just to continue, higher and higher. From where price is now, oh gosh, it's lots of, to the 1272 is 100%, to the 1414 is 400%. Lots of upside potential with this. If I look at this on a shorter time scale, which is probably what you guys want to see. Oh yeah, it's done a lot of moving higher here. Sorry, I don't have a chart already made up for this. Let me just do a real quick. Let's do from here to here to here. This is a linear scale fib extension. Maybe, let me just check this route real quick before I go all the way up there. No, I'm going back to it. It might get a bit of a pullback here. From the 764, it could pull back all the way to the 382, 5153, which would kind of give it a test back to the top of the 1.14 here. Turn on the prices. So about 49.95. So yeah, I guess be cautious. It could be at resistance right now. I'm looking for this thing. That would be a 16% drop if it did that. Hopefully followed by a 47% move up. Actually, wait, 76432, it would go to the 1382. 764, here we go. Yeah, it would go to 77.97 after that. So anyway, look out for, maybe it doesn't have to go to the 114. Maybe it just cheats at it. So my 382 is $51.53. So just look for that. All right, I'm going to throw it back to Matt now.
Yeah, let's take a look at AAOI. And AAOI, this one's trying to break resistance. There's the blue GAN level right here around 2320. We have 886 around 2132. And the one level up here, 2475. So it's really just range bound between basically the top of the, or the bottom of the cloud, 2564, and the 2132. So that's the range until something breaks, right? It's probably going to just stay in this zone until either level can break. So it's just stuck, literally just stuck. So let's just keep watching this blue GAN level at the most. That's around 2328, 2330. If it can break above that and start to build a base on top, then I think it'll have a better chance of breaking the resistance above. But right now it keeps on a big long wick up top. It can't break above that. So 2320, that's the range I'm looking at to break out and get more bullish. And we can look at let's see, LEU. I already did XRP a lot. There's really no change on that one, but LEU, we can see it's going back maybe to the baseline below, perhaps around 157.24. And there is even the 1.272 fib at 138.59. That's a possibility. But what happened with this chart is, look, it went to the 1.618, went straight up there, got rejected. So now we're in consolidation. And now it's time to be patient because this process could take a while, right? The last time it consolidated was at the previous all-time high. It stayed around there for a long time, and it did one final flush before going higher. So it could do the same thing now, right? After a gigantic move, it's just time to be patient. And there's really no rush, in my opinion, to buy something that looks like this because it already had a big move. So perhaps it does want to go down to 138, and perhaps it wants to get closer to the weekly cloud over here before going higher. But that would be later on this year. So I think just patience is needed for this stock. And I'm looking for this zone to be the range maybe for a while. The 174, 138.59, that can be the range for a while until proven otherwise. But if you want to see it more bullish, it's going to have to show stability on top of this 174.76. And right now, it is not doing that. So we're going to have to just take it one day, 1 week at a time with that. And let's see. Oh, I see Alchemy. No, I can't do Alchemy, guys. Unless they add more data. How can I chart this? Oh, it's one giant candle. from the bottom to the top. Yes, it's a candle. That's my TA with it. Yeah, unless they add the previous data, I cannot chart this at all. All right, Tracker, I'm gonna send it back to you.
All right. I guess suppose you could try to imagine a mean reversion on it back to the center, but
Yeah.
let's see. By request, I haven't done one for our friend Ola here in a while. So here's DOF Group ASA. I just did from the top to the bottom fib retracement here, and it has this lovely test back to the center pivot. I almost want to kind of take this and chief this up just a little bit so that it touches the center pivot there, meaning it hasn't really actually touched the all-time high yet. The all-time high is yet to come. It's been going sideways for quite a long time. These are weekly candlesticks, sideways for a long time. The general trend obviously is up. I would say, a great way to look at this is let's take from this top to this bottom, but I only want to see it on the right side, just the fibs on the right, and a little bit of space to look at it. So yeah, look, so it's fighting over on the $7.61 level, or I'm sorry, 761 euros. Yeah, it's bullish as long as it's on top of it. Maybe it just needs one more test back. The cloud seems to indicate it's going to be kind of moving sideways even longer here. It's not, this could just go sideways for a very long time. It is above the conversion line. Baseline's stuck down here for quite a while with this range, which is probably why it's going to move sideways for a while. Yeah, but, if you're just in it to hang on to the stock, the kind of price improvement you might expect to see from where prices right now, back to get to that, to make that all-time high that hasn't quite made, 992. That's 25% improvement. If it gets to the 1114, or when it gets to the 114, $40. I'm sorry, 40.40.5% price improvement. So yeah, I just say this is a bullish chart and just hang in there. Let's see, something. Is ALV a crypto? Oh, let me do GRR first while Matt answers my question. Gorilla Technology, from its all-time high of $510 to its all-time low of $2.09. It's fighting its way back to this halfway point, right? It kind of got over it, then went back to test the 382 again. We're still just over the 382. It's kind of probably going to be, let's see what the Bollinger Band looks like. It's probably going to be in this range for a little while. Yeah, it's getting kind of squeezy, as Kat would say. So just look for, as long as 1707 holds up as support from now, I see it only crossing this 50% level and going higher. So some of these are okay. Just to get back to the 50% level, that's 79% higher from prices now. Wow. And then to the 618, which would actually it'll probably go to the 702 first, then test back to the 618 at some point after that. So yeah, Gorilla Technology looks really great. They're that company that they make the artificial intelligence based surveillance systems. You can kind of put them in for an event or install them in your entire city of Dubai to watch the populace. Make sure they're not up to anything that your government doesn't like. Did I say that out loud? Sorry. You did LEU, Solana. Oh, let me do SBET. I'm going to change it. Hit it right back to Matt here. SBET, Sharplink Gaming. What have I got going on here? What does this say? Does this say you are here? No. SBET. Oh, 21.2075. You know what? I'm just going to throw it back to Matt. I need to work on this chart. Go ahead. Take it away, Matt.
Yeah. I think I have the DOF. I don't know if that's right, the exchange, but I got it on this GETTEX, the Getex.
Good one up on it.
Yeah, we'll see if this is the right one, but essentially it's trying to flip the 786 to a support, right? So it's in process of trying to do that right now. and that's the top of the cloud. There's a lot of confluence right there. So if it's successful, then it has the potential to go up to the 866 and the previous highs again. So it's getting more and more bullish, and as long as it stays in this zone, I think it has potential. 784, that's really the zone to get more bullish. And we can take a look at HIMS. I know a lot of people are worried about HIMS again, but if we look at what's really happening, I have an arrow at that cloud, right? You don't really need the GAN or anything. You can just look at the cloud and see since it broke out, it never touched the cloud until recently. So we're finally touching the cloud as a potential weekly support. There is that 50-week moving average below that actually has been a trend of touching on the way up as well. So that's around 37.13. So support is in this zone, right? And then you can add the confluence of the GAN angle here, and that is also confluence of more support, right? So either way, we already know HIMS likes to be volatile, and HIMS likes to go through levels to the upside right here and to the downside through this angle many times. So it's in a support zone. It can remain in the support zone for some time. And the goal is always to stay inside the arcs here, but around 44, 44.30. But, HIMS, you can see clearly how it looked like it wanted to break out, and it didn't, right? Just like here, it wanted to break down, but it didn't. So we can just see that over and over again until it wants to actually break out. So we're just in a range, we're in a zone, and we're going to be a little bit just more bullish on support, I think, because the time to be cautious at resistance was up here, and the lower it goes, the better your risk reward. So this is a healthy chart. Right now it's holding the bottom of the cloud, but there is a lot more support in this zone, even if it does go below it, as history has proven with this chart. So it's not a scary looking chart. Eventually it'll find its higher low it's looking for and continue the journey higher. But this zone is very attractive, way more attractive than up here, right? The 60s to buy for the first time? No. But if you're buying for the first time or just want to accumulate more, this is the appropriate zone finally after all this time. 44, maybe down to the 36, 37. All right, Tracker, back to you.
All right, here's just a brutal bare bones look at SBET Gaming. I just actually used its all-time high, which was like 25,000 because of all the reverse splits, down to $2.26. And it does seem to have, there's like, it tried to hold this 50% level, the 240 for a while, tested up the 702 and then lost it and lost the 50%. That's how we got our all-time low here. I mean, obviously it was a bunch of all-time lows on the way down. But the interesting thing is when you turn on these are monthly candlesticks, monthly. You turn on the monthly Ichimoku cloud, and the conversion line and the baseline are both together way up here at 62.75. So I find that very interesting. So even though we're down here at 1838, the price action wants to return to like 64.26, I would say, based on this. So just that's my bare bones take on SBET from here. I still am in it. I still think that it's put in a bottom here and it's working on, you can go this a cup and handle and then more handle, lots of little handles to break out past this and test this 50% level at 240. And we're all the way down here at $18. So that would be a crazy move up. It all depends on Bitcoin and Ethereum, because this one's based on Ethereum. All right, let's see. Should I do?
Yeah, I think that ALV was on the NYSE. I'm not sure if you have a chart for that.
LV.
It's like the.
I'm not. Wait.
It's the third one down. Yeah.
The third one down. 1, 2. Wait, I'm sorry. Are my the Alchemy?
No, you
Which
remember
one?
you were looking at
ALV,
Monkey
I see.
Yeah.
Now I see it. You think it's this one right here?
Yeah.
NYSE. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm like looking at the comments and trying to figure out what I'm looking at. Sure, let's do this real quick. Is it have a? Oh yeah, this has got a lot of history. These are monthly candlesticks. This has been around for a very long time. I would definitely call this an S-type stock where it's giving you returns above its original 100% fib retracement. Let's just go from right here to right here, and then I don't want to have to keep turning this on every time. But there you go. Here is where it broke out over the 100% fib, ran all the way up to the 141 and beyond, Then came out just like here. It tested all the way back down to the 886, its original 886, before recovering quickly, very sharply, back over the 141. It hasn't touched its own 1618 here, so I expect you could be looking for that next. So from 11984, it should go to 133.32 next. The really interesting part would be the next part of the journey from the 1618 to the 2618, and I'll just show you that real quick so you can get excited about it, because otherwise the stock is it's kind of slow and plodding. I don't know what they do. For some reason I'm imagining auto parts. But yeah, where are you? From our prices now to the 1618, that's like 12% price improvement. To do the entire gambit from the 1618 to its 2618 is another 500% higher. And just contrast that to where it went from the where it hasn't gotten there yet, but from the 618 to the 1618 was also about 430% higher. So you can see it's not like it'll never do that. Well, it already did that once. Anyway, so there you go. ALV, a long-term bullish stock, a good long hold, I'd say. I'm gonna throw it back to Matt.
Yeah, I'll do one more, and then I'll run away forever and ever, never.
Not if I catch you.
Yeah. So Lemonade, here it is. We can see it's going back up to the resistance, or it tried to at least for the past 2 weeks, and it fell a little bit short of hitting the arc, but it's still a resistance zone, right? No matter what, falling a little bit short, waking a little bit above. It's all the same resistance zone, which is that $60 zone. So until it can break above that, it's maybe going to go for a retest, and the minimum target actually could be maybe this zone down here, which is the previous high, right? And that previous high with the bodies of these candles right here could be $52, maybe, and maybe even the conversion line down here at 48, maybe even 44. So it's the time to be bullish is the breakout and the back test right here before the big breakout again, and the time to be cautious is at that $60 to $62 zone. For the potential to get rejected and maybe go back for a back test. So I'm looking at the 52, maybe 50, maybe that conversion line around 48 at a minimum zone for a potential back test for Lemonade. So bullish chart, right? But not really ready to break this resistance yet. So Tracker, let's finish it off.
I'm just going to do a differential on Lemonade. I've got it up here too. Let me try to make it as big as I can for you guys on the screen. It was a Type B stock and is a newly minted Type A stock, according to my new my new system. It's above the 50% level here. So as long as it stays over that, it should give you some really nice returns. It's a little less risk than it was before, and with a lot of reward to go, 235% higher from where price is now to reach its all-time high and then exceed it. You can clearly see the big cup, and here's the first handle, and just expect many handles on the way. I don't know if it has to go back to the 50% level. It might do like the 50% of the 50%, like halfway between the 618 and the 0.5, which is about $50. So just an idea off the cuff here, not supported by anything other than just my musings. There you go. Yeah, Lemonade. I like the stock. I liked it down here, and it continues to impress me. All right. Well, that's it for now. Thank you guys so much. Happy Hump Day. Get your short term. Hopefully today and tomorrow. If you're doing options, you kind of want to get out of them. But if you're holding options till Friday, you've already lost the options game. You want to get in and get out fast and not hold into Friday. That's where they get you. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
We'll see
Have a
you
good
tomorrow
one.
morning.
Yep. Bye-bye.